I think something that the audience might want to know about, and they might not be in this situation, but hopefully they find themselves in this situation eventually, is how do you deal with the people that you know are just trying to be close to you because of who you are? Because, and I mean because of who you are, as in the fame that you have, or the the etiquetas, like the tags that you have
Yeah.
on you, you
Okay,
know,
the reputation.
the reputation. Like, oh, I just want to be by Daniel because he played for Notre Dame, went to two college cups, and is now playing for LA United too. Or I just want to be close to Javi because I know he's like, you know, an LA United two player, and you know he's very like he's a very good person. So I'm just here interested because I know he has money. He's a famous player, not yet, but hopefully eventually. How do you deal with those people that are, you know, are there just for their own interest and not yours?
I mean, I will say that we don't have enough money and we don't have enough influence yet to
No,
for that to happen that much.
I think we've had a more of an influence, at least in my experience, maybe because college soccer is more prevalent in the U.S. Maybe not for you, because I know in Spain probably people look at college soccer like a little differently. But go ahead with what you're saying. I'm just saying, like, I think we have more influence than we think.
No, I was going to say we don't have enough yet, like Thiago Almada, for example, that he won a World Cup. And,
Yeah, for sure. We obviously don't have that kind
but
of
at the same time, I was going to say that yeah, that's starting to happen now.
But I feel like at every stage you found this, because I'm sure when you were in La Coruña as a Deportivo La Coruña player, 16, 17, 18 years, there were definitely those guys around you that were like, oh my God, this is Javi. I'm gonna go talk to him now, you know?
Yeah, I think it's just experience helps you a lot, and education, and when you get wiser and older, I think it helps you a lot to recognize who just wants to be by your side, because what you have accomplished instead of by who you are, you know, as a person of whatever. So I'm kind of good to identify those type of people. So I know. I think I know who,
Yeah, I was
comes.
I was
and,
literally
you know,
about to say something. I think you kind of
yes,
know.
I think you just know.
You know, and you have friends, you know, and you know, but you also don't just completely shut them out. Like we're not mean people. We're not bad
because at the
people.
end you don't 100% know.
Yeah, you don't 100% know. We also just you give everybody the same fair opportunity, and like you said, we don't have a crazy influence, but we still have influence, especially on I think younger kids from probably our hometowns that look at us and are like, wow, like I would love to do that. Like you encourage especially those people to come and talk to you, and you know, but yeah, with friend groups, I think I think whether you want to believe yourself or not, you know, you have that gut feeling where it's like, oh, maybe these guys aren't for me, or maybe I need to get out of this friend group, or maybe you get a feeling where it's like, wow, these are my guys, you know, like I've gotten that feeling plenty of times where with my friends are like, wow, like these are my guys, like, you know, so I think you just kind of know, especially you just get a feeling.
Yeah, and I feel like that can also go to personal relationships in terms of your couple, right? Your partner. I'm sure there'll be girls that come to you and they're like, "Oh my God, you're the Leonard two player," and I feel like that's, you know, that's tricky because you talked about that earlier, that loss, that, you know, that attractiveness of something that you know you wouldn't have had if you were not the person that you are now, if you hadn't accomplished what you have accomplished now. I feel like it's very hard to deal with that ego, that other inner voice that's telling you, you know, it's the little demon that you have on the shoulder. The demon sometimes is very loud.
For sure.
How do you ignore that guy?
I think you can attest this. It just comes back to your values, and I think we're at an age right now where we've built a good value and foundation for ourselves. At least I have. My family, like I grew up in a family that's just taught me all those little values, and you know, don't let fame get too big. And obviously, we're not nowhere near famous yet. So I mean, who knows? Maybe things can change. But I think my values are strong enough to know that, you know, if, let's say I get lucky enough to make $1 million.
I mean, you have the blue tick in Instagram. So.
Oh yeah,
he's the big deal.
I'll say my friends made a big deal of it. All right, they were loving it.
No, but even for that little thing, you know, there is people, they just follow you, or they just want, for example, they just answer you because.
For sure. I mean,
maybe we shouldn't put that in the podcast.
No. I mean, it's important to hear. I think it's true, but you know, I think it's your values. You come down to what you have, and you just know. And I honestly think it becomes less attractive when people are coming after you just because of who you are. You know, like I want you to come talk to me because of maybe you heard something good about my personality. You know, I know that's really cheesy to say, but it's just like, you know, come and have a conversation with me, and maybe I'm not just an LA United 2 player. Maybe I'm just a good guy, or maybe I'm a guy you hate. I don't know.
That's why it's also important to build relationships
before. Yeah, exactly. Have
You know?
friends before. Like I'm only friends with him because he's on the line United too.
Yeah. That's why I'm gonna get married June, with my beautiful wife.
Wow.
Gwyneth Jacobs, soon Gwyneth Armas Pastor. And yeah, the luckiest man in the world because I found her before making it. So I knew, of course, in the first day that she came because who I was, but it must be difficult, in the future for other people, or I'm sure maybe that will happen to me too. Just temptations, the devil is always gonna try to be after you,
For
so
sure.
you just have to be strong values, and know that you have power. So just use it.
Yeah, but then again, we worked for this, and it's like a great feeling to have. Like we've got to a point where we were at the same age, looking up at other people, saying, "Wow, I'd love to be there," you know. And when you get there, yeah, it's great, but you also see the bad side of things as well. And you see some of the people who are making a lot of money who are just, maybe don't have the best values. So you kind of learn from that as well, especially as somebody who didn't go straight from nothing to something. We had that little bit of a progression.
I think that helped us a lot.
You get lucky in that. Like, there's plenty of people who go from making $0 at the age of 16 to making $500,000 at 16. It's like, fully like, wow, that could be like a crazy jump. And we didn't experience that, so we can't attest to that. But we can attest that we've gone through the progression, which I think has helped us a lot.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, you know who's by your side when you're at your lowest.
For sure.
And I feel like both of you can attest to that. Like how he was saying. Yeah, girls, you heard that right. He's getting married. He's not single anymore.
I love you, mi amor.
But like you were saying, at the end of the day, the people that you can count on are the ones that were by your side when you were at your lowest. So we've touched on those lowest points as well in your lives in soccer. We've touched some about the highest points in your lives in soccer as well. Do you guys want to dive deeper into the lows and highs out of soccer and how you dealt with those and how that shaped you to be the man that you are today?
Of course.
Yeah. Always.
I would say, I say my lowest, it was when I first came to America, that 2019, because when I came here, I fought with my friends back home. So I came here. I was going, for example, I was going to leave Saturday, and I fought with my friends, let's say Thursday.
Wow.
So the last time I talked to them was like kind of like a fight, a very big fight. So I came here and I was alone.
Yeah.
So it was new country, new language, new culture, and no friends. You're alone. So it's like, okay.
Yeah.
That was very, 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 very tough. Very sad too. And how I dealt with it, it was very difficult. I didn't know how, like, what to do, or I didn't tell anyone. I didn't tell my parents. I told my friends. I didn't tell my friends. The good part was that I came to America, so I didn't have to be in Spain or dealing with that. So I kind of was okay. I can build new relationships here, or just um, find new people and kind of disconnect from my past. But at the same time, it's like, okay, that happened. I'm kind of alone here. I'm not really sure if I want to be here, if I want to do this. So it was very difficult, and at that point, I had no one but myself. And I was struggling that much, and that affected me for a long period of time. It was almost like 6 months. So it was just adversity, sad, like almost kind of like depression of every day. Just trying to okay, how to deal with it. Because I think one of the worst feelings in your life is being alone. I think there is a study that they ask people what is your biggest fear, and I think the biggest one is too lonely, to be alone.
Spiders.
Yeah. So at that point, I felt I was alone. I didn't have anyone. Other than my family, of course. And I didn't know how to deal with it. It was kind of the time that saved me, and I didn't have any secret formula. I didn't go to psychologists because at that point I didn't trust I didn't believe in those things. So I was kind of by myself and getting better, and just maturity. Getting wiser and recognize what type of friends I want to have, or what type of life I want to have, and of course the best thing was building my values. That helped me a lot.
Yeah, so even when you feel you're the loneliest and when you feel like nothing else can go wrong, the one thing that you know for sure is that it will get better, and that time will help you get better, and that's why
it's sad because there is people that they
don't think
you don't have that mentality. You don't think it's gonna get better.
It's not an easy mentality.
It's not easy at all,
especially when you're in that moment. You never think it's gonna get better.
Yeah, for some periods of time I didn't think it was going to get better. I was like super depressed or super bad. It was not like that. I wasn't like that, but every time I thought about that problem or about those friends, I was like, okay, this is tough, man. I don't know what's gonna happen here. Then I think it was just time, maturity, getting wiser and building those values and knowing what I want in my life.
And knowing that you want to get out of that situation. Because I feel like that's important to address.
That was the most important thing, knowing that I wanna leave the situation.
Exactly. And that's what will drive you to take certain actions that will help you get out of that situation.
Yeah, knowing you want to leave it, but also leaving it are two different things. That's a tough thing that you had to do. And like you said, I think the biggest thing is just making sure that people realize that there is an upside, whether you think it's coming anywhere near or it's in the long future. I think that was great for people to hear that, like they might just look at us as professional soccer players, but having stories like that are always good for people to hear. But no, I think I've been blessed outside of soccer. Honestly, my worst moments come from soccer, and that's because until about 2 years ago, soccer was my identity. Maybe even if you probably like a year and a half ago, soccer was my identity, and all my worst moments always came from soccer. But like you said, the lows are low, man. They're low, and I've been blessed in terms of friends and family, and had people supporting me. And my best friend group from home, we still talk. We were literally, the group chat was blowing up this morning. We've been friends since we were about 7, 8 years old, and my group chat is still going strong 13, 14 years later. A lot of people don't have that luck. We're great friends. We joke with each other. We know each other inside and out. Even if we don't talk for a couple of weeks, you can literally hop on the phone or text this person, and it's like you guys didn't stop talking. So I've been blessed with that, with friends for sure. And I think that's outside of soccer. I've had a lot of highs in my life. The lows probably come from missing out on parties or making friends or maybe going on vacations or doing things fun. Like I've had to skip plenty of family vacations and friends vacations and all these little things just because of soccer. I couldn't miss, even if it was just for a game on the weekend. I didn't want to take my chances and miss that game. Yeah. So you definitely, my lows probably come from soccer stuff, but until a year and a half ago, I learned that soccer is not my identity. As much as it's my reputation, it's not my identity. I have other things in my life that make me just as happy. But yeah, my highs are very high. I got a lot of great friends.
What is let's talk about the highs now. What is your high? Is high like in soccer or outside soccer?
We talked about the highs in soccer. I feel
that's what I'm saying. So I'm talking about
yeah.
I mean, if you want just like a specific event, bro, skydiving. I mean, that's I went skydiving, man. That was awesome. Yeah. But like in terms of just overall life, I got the best friend group in the world. So I mean, shout out to you guys. Best friend group in the world. Love the guys to death. Even my friends from school, same thing. Love those guys just as much. And obviously family always comes first. So I have my family as well. But I've been super blessed in terms of that. But those are relationships you also have to be willing to be a part of and make. I didn't just become friends with them because I got lucky. I had to still make my way into the friend group. You still have to be a good person. The reason we all love each other is because we care for each other. If something happens to one person, it happens to everybody. You know what I mean? My friend literally, sorry for bringing this up, he just broke up with his girlfriend. And we were all just literally, as soon as he told us, the whole friend group got together and was like texting him and calling him, and we're just making sure he's okay and everything. And, having your friends and knowing people are there to support you is huge in life.
Yeah, I will agree. I would say I think I don't have a high that is like the highest of all the highs.
Yeah,
but
I think our main highs probably come from soccer.
Yeah, but I would say just every Christmas at home, with my family. Now, exactly. Those moments are the ones that I enjoy the most. Just go back. Just want to see my whole family. I love to go there to my little village in Spain, to Treviana in La Rioja. I think the village is 80 people in total. Yeah. I just wanna go there, relax, be with my family, cook with food, love them. I would say that. Yeah. Those are the things I appreciate now.
Yeah, and I know we've talked about it in private, but that yes from one yes, I know it was one of those highs as well.
Which one?
That yes
Oh
from
yeah,
Gwyneth.
yeah. Oh, of course, yeah. I was, man, that was nervous. I was nervous. I don't remember, like, not even for soccer, not even like playing any final or anything. I wasn't nervous.
Yeah.
And we're talking about the proposal, of course, but I remember I had everything organized, you know.
You just want to make sure it was like good.
Photographer,
Good
everything, and I wasn't nervous, you know. I woke up, I was great, but
got close to the moment.
close to the moment, like, okay, I
You
gotta
start
do it
sweating.
now. I gotta do it now. And
In
then
your head, you're like, "Oh, I'm ready.
Yeah,
I'm the man." And then it comes to the moment.
I
You're
have
like,
to
"Oh
coordinate
shoot."
with the photographer, everything, you know, like, okay, we're gonna be in that spot, you come, and then you take the pictures, and when I see you, I'm gonna do it, you know. And then it's like, okay, the photographer is coming, I gotta do it, I gotta do it, I gotta do it, you know.
Yeah.
And then I saw the photographer, he's like, okay, here we go. And then I did it, and I remember, like, we were dancing, and when we dance, I always lead her, you know. She always follows me, and we were dancing before I proposed, and she was leading me, you know. She was like, "What's going on? Like, why are you not leading? You know,
Yeah.
are you okay?" And I was like, "Okay,
I have to do it now.
yeah,
I gotta do it. It's like now or never.
now or never." And then 1 hour later, it's like,
Wow, like I was nervous about that.
yeah.
Did you always think she was gonna say yes?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but is there a little bit of doubt?
No.
Okay,
no.
fair enough.
No, and but yeah, I was very nervous, and I forgot I was going to say something else. But you interrupted me, and I forgot.
Yeah. Well, for the audience, it doesn't get easier even if you know 100% she's gonna say yes. You might have that inner feeling, but it doesn't make.
Yeah,
it
it's just
less
about the
nervous.
moment. It's just about just doing it.
Just
you know?
do it.
Just
Nike,
doing it.
Nike, baby, just do it.
Hey, but I recommend you to do it. I support you getting married early. You know, I support relationships. You know, non short pleasure and short term.
For the audience,
pleasure.
it's not early. He's 24 years old. Okay.
You know, 24, man. Who gets married at 24?
Yeah.
You know, my wife is 22, so yes,
She's
man.
about to turn 22.
Yeah,
Which is crazy.
avoid
Crazy to
avoid
think
instant pleasure. Avoid random sex and just focus on finding your wife.
Yeah, well, I feel like that's also very, very powerful advice. I'm sure the audience will take that into consideration. And
Sure.
Sure, dude.
honestly, at this point, I feel like we've touched on everything. We've touched on health, we've touched on your soccer careers, your experience, who you guys are, what are you making YouTube, the highs, the lows, health experiences, and
Yeah, I mean,
even marriage.
these are just broad stories for the most. I mean,
Yeah.
we obviously went into detail a little bit, but
Yeah.
you know, we encourage people to reach out and if they want to talk more about their problems or anything we talked about, and we just want to be there for people.
Yeah, yeah. So now that people have gotten to know you better, what can they expect from this YouTube channel? What's going on moving forward? And is there anything that you guys want to close with after this couple hours?
I think you should tell them about our future plan. Where we plan to go with this YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, we are just here, of course, to tell our story because I think we have something to share to people. I think there is a lot of people in America, for example, that they are in college or they are young and they are scared. Before college, and they are scared because they wanna
They don't know
play soccer, but they don't know what to do. You know, and he knows more about that. And then my side is like, okay, I can reach a lot of international people from Spain, from Europe, from whatever in the world, and maybe they want to come to the US or they want to just learn about my experience and how they can become a pro or how can just be a better person or a better professional soccer player. So we are just here. That's our main reason and our mission is just
it's also just a fun idea.
it's just to help. Of course, a fun idea, but just to help people to be a better person, a better professional soccer player. And I think in the future, it's not like I think I know in the future we're gonna have this how you call it website course program. Yeah, where you guys we will send you the link. It will be a course where you guys can join us, talk to us directly. You know, one-to-one experiences, and we, for example, we would love to help you in all the experience in your life. Just
Yeah, we're not just here for soccer as well. Like
Yeah.
I mean, obviously our stories come mostly through soccer, but people go through a lot of different problems, and whether we experience it through soccer or not, we're
of course we want to specialize in soccer.
obviously we're not
because
therapists.
We're not therapists,
but we're gonna try our best to be, because a lot of times people get help from people they can relate to, and we can relate to a lot of people in terms of the game and even things outside of the game. So So yeah, we just wanted to start this website to hopefully help people, and especially like he said, he's more the European international side, and I can help with experiences, and because I had a pretty unique story in terms of getting recruited. You know, I didn't play for a big academy, so I can definitely help people in that. You know, especially parents. I know my parents were always stressing about their kid not knowing what their kid's going to do, and you know, as a parent, you love your kid and you want the best for them, and when they don't know what they're going to do, you start to have a heart attack not knowing what they're going to do, and you don't know. And especially my parents, who didn't know anything. My parents didn't even go to college. They didn't know the first thing about, especially, and none of my brothers didn't play a sport in college, so they didn't know the first thing about college, and they didn't know the first thing about, especially about being a student athlete or how to get recruited to a college. Their parents didn't play sports or anything, so you know.
So we just want to help you through all the process.
Exactly. That's what we're here for, to help through the process.
Yeah, that's a very cool way of giving back at the end of the day.
And that doesn't only include soccer. That includes the whole aspects that we think they're gonna help you with. Yeah, being a better soccer player.
Yeah.
Sweet. Looking forward to that. Well, it's been a pleasure to do this with you guys, and I look forward to this channel.
Thank you, Robert.
Thanks.
I appreciate it.